We're sorry to hear that your new Specialized bike isn't going to work out for you. Here's how to safely package it and return it to us. If any of the packaging that came with your bike is missing or damaged, please contact Specialized Rider Care. To repackage the bike, you'll need the original packaging and the following tools: 4, 5, and 6 millimeter hex keys, zip ties, packing tape, and a pedal wrench. Shift the bike into the smallest front chainring, if applicable, and the smallest rear cog. This will make the rear wheel removal easier later on. Loosen the front wheel axle by turning the hex key counterclockwise. Then remove the axle. Pull out the front wheel and put it aside. Be careful not to squeeze the front brake lever with the wheel removed. Insert the plastic spacer between the disc brake pads. Rethread the axle back into the dropouts. If your bike does not have disc brakes and through axles, refer to the assembly guide and manual for detailed instructions. Put the frame back into the box workstand with the stem and handlebars facing inside the box. If you attached any accessories like bottle cages, don't forget to take them off now. Put the small parts box nearby so you can place it under the bottom bracket when you remove the rear wheel. To remove the pedals, use either a 15mm flat wrench or a hex key, depending on your pedal type. The right side of the bike has the drivetrain, the chain rings, chain, and cogs. To remove the right pedal, turn the wrench toward the back of the bike, or counterclockwise. You can hold the opposite crank arm for leverage while turning the wrench. Remember that the left pedal is reverse threaded. You need to turn the wrench clockwise, toward the back of the bike, to remove it. If your bike came with pedals, put them back into the small parts box after you remove them. Put the dropper post to its lowest position. Remove the faceplate of the stem using the correct size hex to unthread each bolt. Keep the bolts with their washers close by. Remove the handlebar from the stem. You can rest the handlebar on the box. Place the faceplate back onto the stem. Then align the holes and thread in each bolt and washer by hand. Loosen the rear wheel axle by turning the hex key counterclockwise, then remove the axle. Rotate the rear derailleur back. If your derailleur has a clutch, press the clutch to hold the derailleur open. Lift up the rear of the bike and guide the rear wheel out of the dropouts. Set the wheel aside. Place the small parts box underneath the bottom bracket to support the frame so it doesn't rest on the rear derailleur. Be careful not to squeeze the rear brake lever with the wheel removed. Insert the plastic spacer between the disc brake pads. Rethread the axle back into the dropouts with the chain on the outside of the axle. Slide the cardboard chain wheel onto the axle with the right crank arm facing toward the front of the bike. Then place the chain into the slot on the cardboard chain wheel. Release the derailleur clutch. Lift the bike and handlebar from the box workstand and place it on the inner box with the crank and drive side facing up and the stem and fork facing down. Put all remaining items that came with the bike, such as reflectors and manuals, back into the small parts box. Slide the small parts box into the holder on the bottom of the inner box. The handlebar will be parallel to the fork. Place the small cardboard box over the stem to protect it. The fork brace has two orientations depending on your bike type. If you have a mountain bike, the hole in the fork brace faces up. If you have a flat bar road bike, the hole faces down. You will line up the fork brace with the 4 rows of holes on the frame box. Line up the fork brace with the first 2 rows of holes for a mountain bike, and with the last 2 rows of holes if you have a flat bar road bike. Use the cardboard packaging to protect the frame anywhere there is contact. Secure the frame and handlebar to the inner box with zip ties. When everything is securely attached to the inner box, stand it up vertically. Attach the wheel tray to the frame box by pushing the tab down from the back, sliding the wheel tray in place, then locking the tray in position by pulling the tabs from the front. Grab the wheels. Add the hub protectors and place the wheels into the tray. The rear wheel goes first, with the cassette facing toward the bike. Put the top tray on top of the wheels to hold them in place. Then push the hand tabs through, so you'll be able to pick up the bike and wheels together. Undo the bike workstand by lifting the flap, pulling out the middle cutout section and pushing down the side flap. Lift the bike and inner packaging and slide it back into the outer box. If it seems a little too heavy, you may want to get an extra set of hands to help. Tape up the top of the box and follow the instructions for attaching your return shipping label.